Folks, we're here in Croke Park for the Captain's Day ahead of the TG Car All-Ireland football finals on this coming Sunday, and we're delighted to be joined by the Dublin senior football manager Mick Bohan. Mick, we're 5 days out, how have the preparations gone?
Going well. At this stage now we just want the games brought on, so we're looking forward to it.
Everybody fit and raring to go?
Everybody's in good shape, yeah.
This is your second stint as manager with the Dublin ladies. How have you found the game? Has it changed much since your first stint in charge? Has the quality of football changed? Has the fitness levels since you were around the first time?
Yeah, well, look, the girls are definitely more athletic and they're better conditioned. Obviously, sports science has played a huge part in that. I think the skill levels are improving, but I still say to everybody, I think there's a chasm there, which it needs to be addressed. I think people are addressing it, but I still think there's massive room for improvement.
Dublin have been in the three previous finals. When you came in yourself, looking at what had happened previously in the previous years, what were the sort of things that you thought needed improvement, and where did you see maybe that 1 or 2% that they needed to get over the line? Where did you see the improvement coming from?
Look, the bottom line is the team who scores the most wins the game. That's never been any different. So, putting chances away, obviously creating chances, but scoring the chances you create, that's obviously been an area we've gone after, but that's the same for every team. So making those decisions and putting people in those scenarios has been part of the process. But ultimately, the best team wins the game.
And looking at the game itself, sometimes finals take on a life of their own, and they can do no matter what you've prepared for. What elements of the game, though, that your players need to be aware of on Sunday?
The control in the game and being in control in the game obviously are key factors, because there's times you can let a game just spiral away, and rather than staying in the moment and just letting the whole thing flow, you need to manage it. So that's parts of the game that we've looked after, and just not been overawed by the occasion, just letting yourself be in the moment, and a little bit of experience certainly will help them in that regard, because you can't prepare anyone really for the morning or the lead in and it is energy sapping, particularly for people who haven't gone through it. So we're certainly hope that experience of the last couple of years will stand them.
Yeah, I was speaking to one of the players after the final 3 years ago, and that was one of the things she said. They couldn't breathe. It is new to be in this stadium, and also the crowd and the occasion and everything else. So you've been here before yourself with the ladies footballers, and also with Jim Gavin as well. Do you think the experience that the players have had over the last 3 years plus your experience will give you a bit of an advantage on Sunday?
Yeah, well, I certainly know, from being involved, that you don't get caught up in these things. You just prepare in the group to the best of your ability, but you don't get caught up in the whole occasion. Ultimately, these days are fantastic days for supporters and families, but for players, it's a day's work, and you have to stay in that moment. So it's the same with, backroom staff and management team, that people don't glide into a party mode, because it isn't a party. It certainly isn't a party when you're on the wrong side of the result. So we're very aware of that, and there's girls here who've been on the receiving end, and that makes you grounded. But it also drives you on, because we're all aware of the fact in sport that ultimately when you come away from these days, there's only one group who are going to be happy.
And there might be a slight bit of deja vu for yourself, like your first time in charge, All-Ireland final, it was Mayo. You have the same opponents on Sunday. I think most people probably expected Cork to be back there again, but Mayo, the best two sides in the country, are in the final. What was your feelings when you knew it was Mayo? Was that sort of feeling of deja vu?
Well, we would have actually alluded to that at the start of the year. After 14 years ago, I was obviously in charge for the year, and here we go again. But I mean, look, ultimately that time was a different time. We were in Division 2, first time to get to an All-Ireland final with a group, so there was a whole heap of things different. And I think the only remaining member we have from that group is Sinead Ahern. She was 16 years of age then, came on the last 8 minutes and scored a point, and she's been scoring ever since.
Sinead will be very important on Sunday. She's been the top scorer this season. She's been absolutely fantastic. It's that type of experience, though, that could be the difference at the end of the day.
Sinead has had a fabulous summer. She's obviously her first time as captain of the team, and she's been a magnificent captain to this group. And yet, for sure, her experience and her leadership has been a main part of our success this summer. But she's handled herself so well, and I look forward to watching her play on Sunday.
When you came in, you actually had a look at a lot of players through the league campaign, to see what was available to you, and to put your own stamp on the team as well. You must be really pleased at how the whole season has gone. The season has gone as a whole.
Yeah, they've been a fantastic group to work with, and I know that's easy to say when you get to this level of competition. But right from the start, they were open. We came obviously with new ideas, and they were incredibly receptive to it. They gave us huge feedback on the things they felt themselves they needed to improve on, and things that had not worked so well for them before. So we listened, and all those experiences are really important. But we had a lot of, the league campaign was, I suppose, it was patchy, but part of the reason it was patchy was that, we were trying people in different positions. We were given, I think we played 36 people during the National League, which is a substantial number of players, and obviously the little bit of uncertainty that comes with it because you're constantly changing teams. But we found ourselves over the summer coming up with a group and a settled team, and we're happy where we are.
Right, Mick, well, thanks very much for your time, and I'd just like to wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.